Welcome back, one and all, to the Brexit Estate, hard by the darkest dungeon where that comet has finally landed. Yes, evil Tom Cruise and his Scientology were squashed to bits, and there was much rejoicing. However, I'm going to enable this now. There's been, oh god, I've had to update the librarian mod at least 3 times. Yeah, schoolboy error. 1 or 2 times, and yeah. Anyway, I just wanted you to see that's now been enabled. Pretty much all of the character mods I use in this save have been updated. All of Marvin CO and Exalus's classes have been updated. The Paladin has not yet been updated. That's actually it. I'm almost tempted to go add in something else, but easy, you know. Our roster's kind of full up as it is. So here we go. Now if I recall correct, and I do because I checked a few minutes ago by accidentally loading the save before letting you all see.
Caretaker. I fear his long-standing duties here have affected him.
Well, I'm glad to know that my game loaded faster, that I didn't need to keep on blathering. So yeah, we have this lovely event, extra stuff in the ruins. However, we have a number of new things to be aware of. A strange glow at the farmstead. The comet's impact was felt here in the hamlet. The great impact toppled gravestones and kicked up a cloud of dust that covered the entire region. When it finally settled, an eerie miasma was seen to spread from the mill. It distorted the rules of time and space, so much so that I couldn't even read this sentence. It distorted the rules of time and space far beyond imagining. Venture to the miller's farm and see what has to be done. Now, we have a tiny problem here in that this is a level 1 quest, and we don't have we have no level 1 heroes. And I'm not quite ready to ditch a load of our highly experienced heroes, especially if they got the Crimson Curse and could infect the surrounding countryside. So let's try and get a few more high-level heroes killed off. Where's our priestess? Our only priestess. We need more religious heroes. So, pretty much the Twilight Knight has been updated, the Librarian has been updated. We're pretty good to go at the moment. Now, for those of you not familiar with this series, this is not the Witcher, who has not been updated. Yeah, the Witcher mod is great at the moment. He does his riposte skill, ends his turn, and riposte disappears. So buffs and ripostes and guards now have their durations handled differently. You see, if here's my turn, and here's where my next turn begins, what used to happen is that buffs would stop here, just before my next turn, whereas now they stop at the end of my turn. Now the reason for that is obviously that people got confused with durations and said a 1 round duration, shouldn't that include my turn next round? So the developers have extended the durations so that now a 1 round duration ends at the end of your current round, and the 2 round duration laps round to the end of your next turn. This does mean that any mods of a 1 round duration on a thing look a little bit silly at the moment. The Librarian's debuffs, the Twilight Knight's self debuffs might currently last too long from Leap of Faith and Slay the Beast. I may have to go tweak them in the future, because I initially thought that debuff durations were handled the same way, in that they would end at the end of the current turn instead of just before the next one. But no, it seems debuffs still use the old duration rules, which is a little bit... Oh, but wait, debuffs use the old duration rules, but self debuffs use the new duration rules. So actually, her debuffs are the correct duration. There was also another rather interesting development this evening before I sat down to record this episode. someone contacted me on Steam and left a note on my Steam profile and said, hey, I've done some fan art of the librarian. Here's a link to it. You can use it for whatever you want. And they also sent me a friend request on Steam, which I decided to accept because I thought, hey, they've sent me a nice piece of artwork. And I went and looked at the artwork and I thought, well, that's a bit dark and gloomy. Okay. And I shared the link with a few people, and then I looked more closely at it and realised that actually it was a torture scene, and the librarian had been tortured to death. I'm not sure if that should be considered praise or rather severe criticism. I'm tempted to leave a link here, but it's not safe for work. There's a few things in the picture that, you know, you wouldn't want children or work colleagues to look at. So I'm not going to leave a link, but I appreciate the fact that someone was inspired enough to go and create that. Speaking of which, because of the way, you know, when a mod changes or the game changes a skill drastically, then the skill identity was changed to avoid a conflict with the antiquarian, but that does mean we need to train it up again. Now, who would we send to the farmland anyway? I have no idea. Right. And I'm going to sneeze. One moment, please. If ever you needed proof, these episodes are recorded live and unedited. That was probably it. Right, God, what are we going to do here? We need more support characters and more healing characters. So, first off, we have the farmstead. We need to go and do our starting quest in the farmstead. It's similar to starting quests in the courtyard. We don't have any mid-level bosses left to do. We've only got high-level bosses left. And we want to keep our only remaining abomination, which means we want a mid-level party to be capable of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here's an interesting change. The Crimson Court is a massive... Look, I'm kind of all over the place at the start of this episode, I'm sorry. So, the Crimson Court is up here. It's on the map now, it's very visible. However, we also have the farmstead down here. So the Colour of Madness DLC, which I was talking about in the last few episodes, has finally been released. Here we go. I've played about with it a bit on some of my other campaigns just to get a bit of a feel for it, and I'll look forward to diving in when we have some appropriate heroes to do so. Now, if we are going to get rid of heroes, I want them to be heroes who don't have the Crimson Curse, and I don't want them to be the only member of their class. So who have we got that we could part with? Okay. Sophie, yeah, she's got locked in stuff. Damn it, that's the problem. So Stamford we could part with, but he has been a good, sturdy member of the community, and I think we should hang on to him for a bit. Got little Nem here. She's still waiting to find some kind of positive quirk worthy of locking in. We have Lavinia, and we have Marchesa. Marchesa has nothing positive locked in, so she could go. Zaldur is our only flagellant, I believe. Oh, there's been lots of changes to hero skills, and I don't like some of them, like battle use limits now on some of the best flagellant skills. The best one has even harsher battle limits. Now that's really bad in the Colour of Madness area as well, which I'll get into. So okay, what else we got? We got Senate, our only plague doctor. I think we need to cure some people of the Crimson Curse, ideally. I don't really see anyone I'd like to get rid of. And yep. When we have investigated the farmstead, we will get another unlock here, which I think might get us the mercenaries. So, What happens in the farmyard? Well, there's been a great big meteor come crashing down from somewhere beyond the realms of human knowledge, and it has landed slap bang in the middle of the farm and leveled it and is corrupting it with some kind of evil malignance. Now, when we go to the farm, there are some very interesting things that will occur, but I'd like to discuss them later rather than now. What kind of party can we form? You know, we could do it for deeds, but we could really do with about 24 portraits. Oh, so we have a new kind of heirloom now, which are crystal shards, which we will get from the farmyard. Here we see we have some comet shards. Shards of the comet. When it landed, it obviously shattered and bits of it flew all over the place. And we can go pick them up. Now, when we bring them back to town, there is a certain fellow here in the nomad wagon, the jeweler. The comet's crash has attracted an opportunist who specializes in otherworldly treasure. You can spend crystal shards earned at the farmstead here. So after our first visit to the farmstead, he will start to produce crystal trinkets, which I have added. Sorry, I just got a message from someone there that includes the words "I have added." It's confused me. So no, he will add them, and then I can purchase them with crystal shards. And they're basically trinkets that are made of the crystal shards. And that's interesting. Now, additionally, at some point, we will get a button down here that will allow us to hire mercenaries, who are going to be level 6 heroes, very experienced, but they might only be allowed to go to the farmstead. Furthermore, as the farm bends and twists the rules of time and space, there is a rumour that heroes who perish in the farm do not die, but return a bit later, perhaps with some kind of affliction similar to the Crimson Curse that limits them to only being allowed to go to the farm because they're kind of trapped there now and a part of it. It's all very interesting and very intriguing. And as I said, I've played around with it a bit, but for now we want to form some sort of party. And who can we send? Well, was Blood Run? I'm looking at the rewards because there was a slight issue with the librarian's class trinkets at one point during the multiple updates that were done. This is still looking like the best one for me at the moment. Okay, you have fingerless gloves. Now that's nice, but that's really long. So I need to make space on my roster. Is Rosalind our only Hellion? She doesn't have the Crimson Curse. She's got lots of nasties. If we have Saren, who also doesn't have the Crimson Curse. Not so many nasties. So we could lose a high-level Hellion. And we could lose Marchesa. That's 2 low-level heroes. If we want, because sending a, we could lose Stanford. That would be 3 low-level heroes. I mean, at this point, I think we just might need to send a party into the Darkest Dungeon itself. Oh god. And then we'd need to get rid of one more, probably Rashida. Or Amira. If we send out a high-level party with Rashida, no, Amira, this is tricky because we do want to survive a bit. Okay, Saren or Roslyn. Well, that's a tough one as well. We want to send them on a short mission, obviously. And we don't want that. That's not very nice. So, oh, it's so tough to pick a good party. I think we just have to go for this one, to be honest. And did we have librarian trinkets in here? Yes, we did, but not that. Ah, there we are. Wait, didn't one of these have the gloves? Huh. Could have sworn I saw the gloves as a reward. But then again, the gloves and the book are a rather complicated trinket set. Oh, there we are. There's the... Oh, the swine god. So, if we were to throw together a quick party... Okay. She's our only priestess. She deserves better than this. Oh, enlightened. Perfect. She is our only priestess. And we want to get camping skills, obviously. Right. So, Sister Senna will go to church. Which means she's definitely not going out this week, which means we might be sending out a mid-level party this week. And could go here. So, one of the changes that has occurred is that now the abomination can venture forth with religious heroes, but she causes them a lot of stress. And the leper can handle a lot of stress. So then, if we send Rashida and Marchesa, this is one of the changes I really don't like. And when we come to the man-at-arms, look, sorry, the man-at-arms I really don't like the changes. I'll look at that in a bit. But so, limited uses per battle 1 on an ability that removes Blight and Bleed. Seriously, the condition removal was always much more useful than the dodge and speed buffs. Just for a battle-long buff, it just doesn't feel right. And then when you get to the man-at-arms, some of his skills also have limited use, or at least, yeah, bolster, single use. That's just dreadful. If I go up against the Prophet or the Cannon, and someone's afflicted and refuses the defensive buffs, then the ceiling falls on them and they die, you know. Or it's a lot harder to protect people, and that makes it a really painful skill. Yeah, I strongly dislike this and hope it gets changed. It's just really rough. So overall skill changes. The leper is actually a semi-decent character now. The highwayman is marginally less rubbish. Man-at-arms got a bit of a nerf, but to be fair, he was ridiculously powerful and kind of needed it. And another character, the Flagellant, got a bit of a nerf. So an issue with Flagellant was that Punish could reach the front 3 enemy ranks, which meant that Reign of Sorrows, with its damage penalty hitting the back 2, was a lot less potent and just never got used, and everyone was just using Punish all the time. So that is a change that really needed to happen. There have been a lot of changes made to the Flagellant. So the health caps for Exsanguinate and Redeem are much lower. Reclaim might have been tweaked slightly. Endure, Suffer has been changed as well. and also the behind the hood stuff, like when he gets his extra damage and things, have all been tweaked a little bit as well. Other big changes. So across the board, all those of you, all you players who've been enjoying using stun skills and just stunning all the enemies and killing them before they ever get a turn, that's going to be a lot harder now because stun skills are less effective than they used to be. Additionally, monsters can now remove virtues. Virtued heroes are no longer capped at 100 stress, and if a virtued hero reaches 200 stress, instead of getting a heart attack, they lose all their stress and lose the virtue and go back to being normal. Now that's tricky. You know, that's rough. But let's do it. We're going to go to the Warrens to gather some grain. If anybody dies, then we will have room for more low-level characters in the estate, I suppose. We're going to the Warrens, so that's going to be 3 bandages. We have a leper. I'm making up 4 bandages. We don't have a plague doctor. I'm actually going to make up 5 bandages. And extra. Right. So this is a new consumable. It's basically some of the crystal shards from a farmyard ground up into dust that the heroes can use. Used to tap into otherworldly power, but beware its other effects. Cannot be used while virtuous. It's kind of similar to the blood, in that it does something. I haven't actually used it yet, but it's going to do something. Right. We've got food. We've got torches. Shovels, medicinal herbs, anti-venom. I'm going to take 1 holy water, what the hell. And I'll leave it at that. Ooh, wait. Yeah, okay. The fanatic stalks these halls. Well, that would be a good way to rid ourselves of some of our... Look, as long as it's not our leper, it's all good at the moment. Actually, it'd be nice to keep our remaining abomination as well.
You are not alone in this place. The fanatic is on the prowl.
But these 2 at the back,
Your sickness.
they're not as vital to our success. Watch it. First fight there, fanatic. Straight away. Just jumps on it and goes boo and... Look, I know we're wanting to clear out our back rank a bit, but this is just ridiculous. Sometimes you just need to know when to say no. Hooray! It's not the fanatic! But it is a lot of stress. Alright, Ulcina then. Smack him with a chain arm, with a chain sound on it. But it's just an arm. Right, you. Have it!
Eradicated.
Flippin' heck. Now, when I get a turn, I want to show something. So, another big change is that heroes now have a critical buff, which occurs when they pull off a critical hit. In the case of the Grave Robber, it's plus 10 dodge. So when you see that the icon here is blue and yellow instead of double blue, that means that a hero's class buff is in account. The Leper gets more accuracy, the Crusader gets more protection. I gave the Twilight Knight plus 10% virtue chance as her critical hit buff, but then because she's often reducing her stress anyway, it's not going to get used massively, so it's not too powerful, I hope. And I gave the Librarian as a crit buff minus 5% or minus 10% resolve experience personal, so that as the party's leveling up, she can reduce her own experience gain to stay low level longer to train up more new people. Right, we want less accuracy on you because you're dangerous. Now, Sir Wrexham. So Withstand has become a single use per battle skill with a battle long buff. Additionally, the protection from Solemnity has been... Wait, no. The stress removal from Withstand has been moved to Solemnity. So he's going to be really tough and have good resistances. So the resistances from a healing have moved to Withstand. So he gets protection and resistances now. It's rather different. Now, there's an argument in favour of the single-use battle-long buffs, which is, I don't waste this button anymore in the encounter. But then you're just going, you're narrowing your options, you know, and taking away the need to actually use that buff or protective skill or condition removal is actually kind of bad. Damn, almost got him. Oh, Pick to the Face now has armor piercing, just like the Shieldbreaker's spear.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Ow! Oh, come on! Really now? Come, Fanatic, and bring sweet death to these individuals. Right, get up there. Also, also monsters now pay more attention to marks. So the Twilight Knight self-marking does what it was supposed to do much more effectively now.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Sling that in there. Ka-chop! Yeah, plus 10 accuracy for 2 rounds.
These
Nice.
creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Well, that Fanatic's in here somewhere. If he somehow fails to thwart our quest, I will be very grateful. Right, you, get stunned. Please. I am lucky. Doubly so. Have a knife. Nice. And whomp. And now he's lost his crit buff. So crit buffs are always fairly short-lived. They're like enough to last you into your next turn, and that's about it, basically. Oh, go on, please, please. She's only an antiquarian. She's not that important. He says.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Now, let's see if I can just... Nope, okay. Pop a little bit of healing.
Passion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Alright, I think I want these two to swap round. And take out the man in front there.
Enemy crumbles.
Okay.
Annihilated.
Beautiful, and she gets... dodge? I think it's for dodge. Yes, it's for dodge. Because the accuracy is coming from a knife throw. Okay. I'm not expecting him to get stunned because he's got a reasonable stun resistance, and yet the stun actually works. Right, use a bandage because we don't want to give up quite so early.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Alright, this is a little tricky. Gonna go with that. And then our grave robber kindly brought a key. So let's open this chest. Wait, did the antiquarian bring one as well? We do need portraits. Okay. Okay. Let's see what lies ahead. Okay, any one of these fights could be the Fanatic. However, He does seem to be hiding more now than he used to.
Beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
You know.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Since we're probably abandoning this one anyway, we might as well just grab as much treasure as we can. Should have made her get guarded, but I am trying to trim the roster a little. Oh, Spider! You can do better than that, come on. Beautiful. Right, well, we don't want her being blighted. I could have gone for guard there, but I thought I'd go with a little bit of healing. Ooh, and we missed. And Ulcina Vane is saying, no, it dodged! And I'm saying, shut up, you missed it.
Back to the pit. Be gone.
Didn't we just remove her blight?
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Well, we can't remove it now, and there's a fight up ahead, so let's try it. Oh, I just need to send a message to someone really quickly. Right, that was kind of important, which means the Fanatic might actually be waiting for us in this chamber. However, it's a treasure room, so probably not. Oh yeah, stealth is fun. Let's just puke all over him. Lovely! Big resistances, I know, it's a shame. Right, we want to just stop that blight before it starts. And you know what? Ooh, yeah. Thing is, this is a problem with the Crimson Court as well. You need to send in a low-level party early on, and then after that, it ramps up to like mid-level and high-level quests rather quickly. So you don't really. The need for a disposable group of low-level heroes for one quest, it eats into an experienced roster quite badly, so you do kind of want to get the Colour of Madness activated earlier on in a campaign.
Decimated.
Nicely done! Right, here we go. And we serve on it. Okay. I mean, he's just really just, you know, rough and tough. He don't care, man. He's a leper. You know, he's had it all. It doesn't get any worse than this. Overpain. Go on, Sir Wrexham. Get in there and kill him. Kill his face off. Rip his snout open. Sorry, I must be channeling that piece of fan art that someone did for the librarian there. It wasn't too disturbing, but I was cooking my din-dins and getting ready to eat, and it didn't exactly help with my appetite. It was a bit of a pleasant surprise, though. You know, it's nice that someone was that inspired to do something, and I'm impressed. I'm not quite sure how to take it. I should do that video on the... Someone requested a video on the collector miniature, and I said I'd get round to that soon when I could. Oh, go Sir Wrexham! If anyone deserves to come out of this mission alive, it is you, sir.
The will to fight falters.
Oh, this just isn't fair. This is not fair at all. You know what? We got a fanatic anyway, we might as well just go home. And we can take this. I mean, it's not as if we're going to get much use out of it. We got... You know what? Yeah. We're leaving. We don't want to run to a fanatic. Shortish episode, I know, but hey. It's a shame.
Failure tests the mettle of heart, brain, and body.
So we didn't get the deeds, but we did get some nice portraits, which we need plenty of. Yeah, it's okay, you know, it's not the best of episodes, but we did enough to progress the week, and our priestess should be ready again. Early riser, okay.
My obsession caused this great foulness, and it is shameful that I must rely upon you to set it right.
Oh, Senna and Senate. Okay, so I just realised that our only Vestal and only Plague Doctor had very similar names. Yeah. Where is our only Plague Doctor got to? There she is. There's Senate and Senna. Very similar names. And I hadn't noticed. Interesting. So, lots of people affected by the blood. And now we have lots of crystal trinkets. So let's have a look at some of these. Lens of the Comet. Ignores stealth, minus 20% virtue chance, plus 5% critical if has shard dust in inventory. Now, this is very interesting. Basically, it opens up a lot of modding opportunities, okay? So, there are crystal trinkets with effects based on having supply items in the inventory that have not been used yet. And additionally, I think there's districts do that as well. So, Petrified Skull for the Occultist, and if you look, see it's got lots of crystals in it, and some sort of like ice dripping off it, like icicles oozing. Plus 40% protection when attacked by Husk. Husk is a kind of... it's a new monster category. Most of the monsters from the farmyard are Husks. Minus 20% healing received. Well, for an occultist, that's kind of thematic. Plus 30% protection when attacked by Eldritch. And plus 15% maximum health. That's not a bad trinket, to be honest, and it needs 25 shards. Broken Key, Abomination only. So these are all crystalline trinkets, right? They're all crystalline. So, Broken Key that could have opened his shackles. Plus 15 accuracy. Plus 35% stun chance and plus 10% stress. Oh, that abomination would be getting so stressed out. Ashen Distillation. Plague Doctor only. Crystalline, plus 20 dodge. Okay. Plus 25% blight skill chance. That's good. And plus 20% healing received if medicinal herbs in inventory. So we have another supply items in inventory property. And the nice thing is that all of these properties are available for modders to do things with. The sheer amount of modding opportunities this DLC has added is pretty insane. Smoking Skull, Antiquarian only. So it's like a really, because she does have the skull on a lantern there. On a sensor, sorry, it's not a lantern. plus 35 dodge if shard dust in inventory, minus 15 accuracy, and minus 15 blight resistance. So basically that just gives her a good dodge skill. Dodge is... I know some players like it. It's not the best thing ever, but it's pretty damn good. Okay, Dirge for the Devoured. Jester only. Plus 25% stress healed, plus 25% damage if laudanum in inventory, and plus 10% stress. I'm seeing the extra stress as a bit of a theme here. Let's see. Spectral Spear Tip. It does look a bit ethereal with energy wisping around it there. Shield Breaker only. So I think these are a set list, right? These don't randomize the same way that the normal wagon stuff does. Plus 15% damage on attack, random target 5 on attack random target 5%, which means when she attacks she has a 5% chance of targeting a random enemy instead of the one she wanted. So it makes her a bit less accurate. More damage, plus 20% blight skill chance, and plus 15% max HP. Okay. Acidic Husk Hiker for the Flagellant only. Minus 25% max HP. But since his health caps for his skills are now lower, that's possibly a bad thing. Plus 30% damage, plus 30% bleed skill chance against husks, and plus 25% healing received if below 20% health. That's an interesting nice tweak for the Flagellant. Crystalline Pendant, it's good for anyone, plus 15% shards given, plus 15% stress. Okay. The Huskfang Whistle. Looks like it's made of some kind of bone, doesn't it? For the Houndmaster only, plus 50% bleed skill chance if dog treats in inventory. So if you aren't using the doggy treats, it really makes some things bleed. Plus 40% stress healed when guarding. Interesting. Minus 10 dodge. Plus 66% guard duration. What is his guard duration normally? Is it 3? That'd make sense. Okay. Heretical Passage. Vestal only, crystalline. Plus 20% healing skills if holy water in inventory. Okay, that's good. Plus 25% damage versus Husk, plus 25% damage versus Eldritch, plus 10% stress. That's a really good trinket, actually. It's not great for necessarily for a healing Vestal, but for a damage dealing Vestal, that's actually very interesting. Mirror Shield, Man-at-Arms only. This one is weird, right? Okay. Plus 10 dodge. Alright. 30% damage reflection. That means if he gets hit, the enemy takes 30% of the damage he did. But I think their protection and stuff still apply. And plus 20% stun resistance. Okay, that's not bad. Mask of the Timeless. Bounty Hunter only. Plus 2 speed, plus 15 dodge, plus 5% stress. Okay, speed, dodge, a bit of extra stress. That's actually, most of the other 10% stress ones are, yeah, okay, so that's a low stress gain. That's a nice trinket for a bounty hunter. We have the Top Shelf Tonic for the Grave Robber, plus 15 dodge if medicinal herbs in inventory, plus 3 speed, minus 20 blight resist. Needs 80, because these get more expensive as they go down. Minus 20% blight resist, plus 50% blight duration when applied. So that would be for a poison darts. So yes, things that modify the duration of bleeds and blights or regeneration, like the Flagellant's regeneration. There could be things that would modify the duration on that, or things that would modify the duration on horror, for example. You know, again, more opportunities for modders. So many fun things we can do. Right, Petrified Amulet for the Leper. Plus 10 accuracy of bandage in inventory. I think that's kind of a must-have for a leper at this point. Plus 15% max HP, minus 15 bleed resist. For lepers, bleed resist is virtually non-existent anyway, so it's not a massive difference. Crystalline Gunpowder for the Highwayman only. Plus 20% damage. No, that's not just range damage, that's all damage. Plus 3 speed, minus 15 stun resist. Okay, The stun resist hit is a bit bad, but the rest is pretty nice. So, Cluster Pendant, plus 25% shards given plus 15 stress. It's basically a much better version of the Crystal Pendant. Here we have the Thirsting Blade for Hellion only. It lowers her bleed resistance by 20, gives her plus 2 speed, plus 10% critical hit chance versus bleeding targets. However, on attack, if her attacks miss, she takes 5 damage every time one of her attacks miss. Now, with plus 15 accuracy, that's not going to happen often, but if you're using Breakthrough or something like that, it could happen, especially with her self-debuffs from her skills. Alright. Icosahedric Musket Balls. Shouldn't that be Isocahedric? It feels a bit wrong. So for Musketeer only, Crystalline, plus 20% damage, 20% chance to attack a random target. Oh, that's rough. Keening Bolts for the Arbalist only, 20% damage, 8% critical hit range skills on attack, 25% chance she gets free stress every time she attacks. These two have some significant downsides. Coat of Many Colours, Crystalline. It's a cloak. We have to try and get one of these for a Twilight Night. It must be done. Okay. On monster kill, buff target, minus 2% stress, 100% base. So that minus 2% stress received. On monster kill, so basically, when you kill a monster, you get buff target. Or when a monster kills you, buff target plus 2 accuracy. Hero killed. Okay, if the person wearing this gets killed, the party is stunned and gets a lot of stress. So every time you kill something, you get a buff so you get less stress received, and you buff your accuracy. I'm not sure I want this on a Twilight Night now, because she kind of handles her stress quite well as it is at the moment, possibly a little bit too well. And there may be a balance patch up coming in the future, but we'll see. This is a weird one. I'm not quite sure I understand this. So basically, you're buffing yourself, and you're trying to be the kill stealer, the one who gets all the kills. But if you die, the party's in serious trouble. However, this is like when the flagellant goes down to death's door, or when he dies. Good things happen for the party, right? And now this can be done on trinkets for a hero of any class. That is very interesting. And then Miller's Pipe. So a straight minus 2 stress when you kill a monster. Blight all monsters when you kill a monster. 120% isn't massive because monsters have resistances. Hero killed, party gets 45 stress and minus 20% protection and minus 2 speed. Yeah, that's kind of bad. But look, blight on all enemies, and then the Crusader gets the non-Euclidean hilt. I can't remember what Euclidean means, but it's something to do with mathematics and physics. Plus 15% max HP, fine. On attack, 5% chance of random target. Plus 25% stun skill chance if Holy Water in inventory. On attack hit, blight, 120% chance of blight anything you hit. For a Crusader. That's interesting. Again, that is essentially adding a effect to a skill with a trinket. And to that effect, the Librarian's trinkets have been altered because me and the other collaborators on the project wanted to do things like have a series of books that would alter Forbidden Chant to put effects on it. So you remember how previously Forbidden Chant had a blight chance on it, and then one of the books added to that blight chance? Well, now that book gives it a blight chance that it doesn't have without it. So we have a number of like 4 or 5 books that all add different. There's like a stun book, a bleeding book, which like goes bites people, kills them with paper cuts. There's a acidic book, I think there might even be a stun book, but yeah, they all add different effects to this skill. And do we have any of them here to show off? No, we got a belly ring, we got another copy of the Poisonous Assertion. How much could we sell that for? A lot. Okay. And yeah, interesting. Who is in the stagecoach this week? Well, we can't get the mercenaries yet, apparently. Okay, lots of low-level heroes. That's fine. We need lots of low-level heroes, but we also need to get rid of someone to make room for them. And that's kind of rough. I don't think we can do that just yet. What we can do, though, is some kind of hero upgrade, because we need the money. Alright. Okay. Right, so who could we part with to make room for 4 low-level heroes? We're not losing Reynold and Dismas. Ludovic. Okay. Hey. If we had a low-level librarian turn up in the stagecoach, then we could recruit a low-level party and send them into the farmstead, because they'd level quicker. But it would be rough and risky. So, Ludovic, Rosnav, Sophie's got Eldritch Hater locked in, but we could kind of part with her because her skills are a bit subpar. So if we let go of Sophie and Marchesa, oh god, and one of our 2 Hellions. And we'd probably be looking at Stanford, wouldn't we? Damn it! He's been so good, we want to keep him around. Okay, so Sophie, Saren or Roslyn. So that's 2. Don't want to lose Nenya. I mean, if Rashida hadn't gone and got the Crimson Curse, we could have just got rid of her right there. But now both our antiquarians have it. Zaldur, you are our only current flagellant. Okay, it's a 3-person party. So if I make the start of that 3-person party, Marchesa, you've been good to us, but it is time, sadly, for you to go.
The task ahead is terrible, and weakness cannot be tolerated.
Right, Roslyn, Fear of Beasts, Night Blindness, Scattering. Let's see. A single 4, a 2 2-1s, 2 2s, 3 4s. Okay, I think Saren is actually the one we're keeping. Sadly. Okay, so pop these in here as well. Roslyn, you've served us well, but I don't know, this just feels so wrong. Oh well.
Slumped shoulders, wild eyes, and a stumbling gait. This one is no more good to us.
You know, if Malcolm didn't have the Crimson Curse, because we ain't sending Rosnav away. Right, Rosnav is the hero. You know, he's come back from the dead, I believe, and defeated the fanatic all on his own. He is a living legend, and he deserves to be looked after. He's getting some training. Nope, he's getting a better mace. Then he's getting some training. Oh, look at that, if only it really did have lightning crackling all around it. The bludgeon, absolutely. Bulwark and bludgeon, He knows what he's about. Yeah. Get that bolster skill ready. Right, who else can we get rid of? Alright, Sophie would take us down to 26. We need one more for 25. Oh god. Who's it going to be? I mean, who's available? If we want a low-level party, we should probably wait till next week for him anyway. He's called Croc. God, no. Right, okay, so this is the old placeholder leper skin that is very unfinished. Does not work very well at all. So, most hero skins work just fine. If only I could get some heroes killed on some kind of fool's errand. I suppose that'll have to wait till next time. But until then, I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'll say bye-bye for now, and cheerio!